Glass is directed by M. Night Shyamalan and stars Bruce Willis, who's back as David Dunn. We have James McAvoy, who's back as Kevin Wendell Crumb, and we have Samuel L. Jackson as Mr. Glass. This is a film that 19 years in the making. Dunn, who's in 2000's Unbreakable, who survives a train crash and he can't understand why, and yet he now has invulnerability and he's only, his kryptonite is water. And we have Kevin Wendell Crumb, a man who was abused as a child and now suffers with DID and has 23 distinct personalities. One of those we've always wanted to see again, and I've always wanted to see Glass again. Glass again after that sting. But there's one thing we wanted: the Beast. I'm a huge fan of Unbreakable and Split. I think I like the superhero genre, we all know that, but this is a really good different take on that genre. And when I heard that Unbreakable and Split were together after, as I said in the intro, that sting from the end of Split, fuck yeah, I was excited knowing that Glass was going to come back and all that. This was 19 years in the making, so was it worth the hype in my head? Well, it's pretty rare to wait 19 years for a movie and then hate it, isn't it? Well, first of all, let me just start with the three main characters in this movie. You've got Bruce Willis as David Dunn. I loved Unbreakable, as I've said now like 3 times. I love that movie. To see him back in the end sting of Split, I lost my shit. I loved it. To see him back here is just a huge nostalgia-gasm. I fucking love him anyway. It was great to see Bruce Willis back in a character that he just looks like he feels really, really comfortable in. It was just so good to see him back in a role that harkened back to years ago. They even used footage of Unbreakable in this movie and they fit it in seamlessly. It's fantastic how they do that. It just looks so natural to him. Once Sam Jackson actually starts anything in this movie, he's fantastic again. It's Samuel L. Jackson. We saw him a lot more in, obviously, Unbreakable. He was sadistic then. He had a great storyline in that movie. In this one, it's a little dumbed down, but it's still amazing to see Glass back. This time he's older, he's a little bit more tortured, he's been sedated. It's fantastic how little Sam Jackson has to do, and yet he can still do it well. The highlight of this movie for me is James McAvoy as Kevin Wendell Crumb, or The Horde. This man, honestly, I've said in the past in a lot of reviews about James McAvoy, especially that Frankenstein movie he did with Daniel Radcliffe, that he has a habit of overacting a lot of the time and sort of really, holding on to things and making them look ridiculous and comic booky and, stupid. In this one he wasn't, even though he had to be 23 different personalities. Well, he was like 4 or 5 in Split. In this one he's been given a lot more. You see a lot more of Kevin's personalities come into this movie in a really cool strobe-like way, where they keep changing his personalities on a whim. So you have to see McAvoy do all these things. He has to do all these personalities within a split second of themselves. It is fantastic how he does this movie, honestly. He, for me, was the highlight of the film. Every time Kevin wasn't on the screen, I wanted Kevin back. That's always a good thing. McAvoy fucking kills it in this movie. It made me just want to watch Split again after I'd seen this. Honestly, amazing. I think this movie for me is a second watcher though. I think I'm going to have to go back to the cinema to go and see it again. I liked it. The ending for me made me question things. So I really do think it's worth that second watch for myself. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting and I still need to get my head around it a little bit. It's a typical Shyamalan thing, but I need to go again and see what I may have missed or what will sort of clarify things for me. Oh yeah, and I know I said it's good to see Brucey back as David Dunn, but where is he? For me, he feels like out of the 3 characters, he is sort of the third just to do stuff. I don't really get what he's there. Obviously, the whole thing is a culmination of all three movies, so I can see why. But they don't utilise him as much. David Dunn is the reason this whole thing started, and yet he's not really in it nearly as strongly as McAvoy and Jackson. I find that odd that you have these three huge actors and yet they're not all being used in the same way. It felt that way to me, at least. Guys, if you like Unbreakable and Split, then go and see this movie. It is a culmination of the 19 years he spent between Unbreakable and this. It is a good movie. Is it worth the 19-year wait? I'd say that's kind of true, but the story for me felt more like a Split sequel than it did a sort of, you know, like a happy ending of all three movies, if you get what I mean. It feels to me they're concentrating more on Kevin than they are on everybody else, obviously because with the 23 personalities there's more for everyone to latch on to with this movie. So I can see how it was easier for M. Night Shyamalan to actually write more about Kevin than it was about a character that he's not used since 2000. So I can understand that, and I would probably do the same. But that doesn't detract from the fact this is a great movie, and if you like the other two, it's a good little nest of movies to have. Guys, with all of this being said, I'm going to give Glass a 3.5 out of 5. So there you have it, guys. There's my take on Glass. If you have seen the movie and if you do like the original two movies, then please let me know what you thought of them in the comments down below. I'd love to know. I love having conversations with people about the movies. They've been doing it on my comments a lot more recently. So yeah, please do that. And before you go, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about me, please. Let's spread the word like a bloody disease. And until next time, guys, this is your friendly neighbourhood ginger guy saying, Ginge out!